Imagine two people standing in front of a mountain of bricks. Person A rolls up his sleeves. He works 16 hours a day, sweat dripping into his eyes, his hands bleeding and calloused, carrying bricks one by one to the other side. Person B does something different. He spends 2 days sitting in the shade, sketching on a piece of paper and building a simple pulley system. Then he sits in a lawn chair, sipping iced tea, and pulls a single rope that moves 100 bricks at once. Who do you respect more? Instinctively, politely, you might praise Person A's hard work. But in the cold, unvarnished reality of the real world, Person B gets the promotion, the wealth, and the quiet admiration of everyone watching. We are taught from childhood to worship hard work. But the truth is a bitter pill to swallow. Society secretly despises pure, unleveraged effort. We don't respect the sweat. We respect the system. Today, we are going to unpack exactly why people respect leverage much more than effort, and why unlearning the grind myth is the only way you will ever actually win. Let's talk about the great hustle illusion. Growing up, the formula handed down to us was incredibly simple. Input equals output. Blood, sweat, and tears are the currency of success. If you aren't waking up at 4 a.m. and grinding until midnight, you just don't want it badly enough. We have romanticized exhaustion. We think being tired is a status symbol. "I'm so busy" has become a twisted badge of honor in modern conversation. But this is the ultimate trap of the middle class. Think about it. When we see someone bleeding themselves dry for a meager paycheck, working 3 manual jobs just to keep the lights on, what do we actually feel? We feel sympathy. We feel pity. We might even say, "Wow, they are such a hard worker." But here is the hard truth. Pity is not respect. Sympathy is looking down from above. True respect is looking up. People falsely believe that brute force effort earns them a seat at the table. It doesn't. Unleveraged effort just guarantees that you will always be the one setting the table for someone else. You are trading your life force for a linear reward, and society subconsciously recognizes that as a fundamental lack of strategy. So, what exactly is leverage, and why does it command so much psychological authority over us? Leverage is the ability to completely disconnect your input from your output. The ancient philosopher Archimedes once said, "Give me a lever long enough and a fulcrum on which to place it, and I shall move the world." Effort is strictly linear. 1 hour of your work equals 1 unit of result. Leverage is exponential. 1 hour of your work equals 1,000 units of result. Why do we inherently respect this exponential reality? Because leverage implies 3 things that human beings are evolutionarily wired to admire: competence, control, and abundance. When you use pure effort, you are fighting friction. You are the engine. The terrifying thing about being the engine is that when you run out of gas, the machine stops entirely. It signals vulnerability. It signals that you are constantly on the edge of burnout. But when you use leverage, whether that means writing a piece of software, deploying capital to buy assets, building a media audience, or creating a flawless operating procedure for other people to follow, you stop being the engine. You become the architect. You are no longer fighting friction. You are bending reality to your will. We respect the architect, not the bricklayer, because the architect commands the system. Leverage shows that you are working on the business of your life, rather than just sweating endlessly inside it. It shows mastery, and humans naturally bow to mastery. Let's look at 2 everyday scenarios that prove how deeply wired this bias is. Example 1, the office martyr versus the automator. Meet Sarah and David, 2 data analysts working at the same corporate firm. Sarah is the ultimate grinder. She stays until 9 p.m. every single Friday, manually transferring data across massive spreadsheets. Her eyes are red, her coffee is cold, and she hasn't seen her friends in weeks. Management gives her a $50 gift card and pats her on the back, calling her a true team player.
Now look at David. David despises manual work. He spends 2 grueling weeks reading tutorials, learning Python programming, and writing a script. Now, the exact same spreadsheet updates itself flawlessly in 3 seconds. David leaves the office at 4 p.m. every day to go play tennis. Who does the firm actually value more? When a director of operations position opens up, they do not give it to Sarah. They give it to David. Why? Because Sarah's method cannot scale. If the company takes on twice as many clients, Sarah will literally die of exhaustion. Her capacity is maxed out. David just presses his button twice. Society respects David because his leverage makes him infinitely scalable. Example 2. The sidewalk hustler versus the digital creator. Imagine a local bakery owner trying to get new customers. Owner A stands on a freezing street corner for 8 hours, handing out 1,000 flyers to random people walking by. He is freezing, his feet ache, and he is miserable. Out of those 1,000 flyers, maybe 10 people walk into his shop. Owner B does something entirely different. He takes a high-quality video of a fresh chocolate croissant tearing open, steam rising from the center. He spends $50 on a targeted local social media ad, presses publish, and goes to sleep. The ad reaches 50,000 local phones while he dreams, bringing a line of 500 customers to his door the next morning. If you watched both of these men, you wouldn't respect Owner A's business acumen. You might think he's resilient, but you'd also think he's highly inefficient. You deeply respect Owner B, not because he worked harder, he actually physically worked much less, but because he used the ultimate modern levers, media and code. He multiplied his presence without multiplying his pain. The takeaway here is not that hard work is useless. You absolutely need effort to build the lever in the first place. David had to learn Python. Owner B had to learn how to shoot video and run ads. But the goal of effort should never be just to do more effort. The goal of effort is to build leverage. We need to collectively stop trying to prove our worth by how tired we are. Exhaustion is not a metric of success. It is a metric of friction. The world does not care how many hours you stayed awake, how much your back hurts, or how many family dinners you sacrificed. It only cares about the magnitude of the problem you solve and the elegance with which you solve it. Stop carrying the bricks with your bare hands. Take a step back. Build the machine. Write the code. Hire the team. Create the asset.